All right. I think we are on. We are live again with the doctor, Tom Novak from Novak Weather Consulting Services. He's good enough to help us out with this information here, but he also, of course, does his own thing, providing professional meteorological advice for upper Midwestern companies.
That's right.
And yes, this is the start of the 2016 snow season. I mean, I know there's been a little bit of snow so far, but it sounds like this might be the first relatively significant snowstorm. Is that right, Tom?
Well, at least for southern Minnesota, the Twin Cities. The Twin Cities now has just been missed a couple of times. Of course, we had a couple weeks back where just north of the metro, and even the northern metro, received several inches of snow. But that snowstorm hit the lakes area of Minnesota, and then northern Minnesota pretty hard. And then, if everybody's been listening to the news, you know that a major blizzard just is finishing up now in the Red River Valley of North Dakota and Minnesota. They received 12 to 16 inches of snow, Bill, with winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour. So it's not as though we haven't had winter storms. It's been an active weather pattern. It's just up to this point, it hasn't struck Minneapolis and St. Paul straight on, nor the rest of southern Minnesota, but that could change.
So you say southern Minnesota, you are including the Twin Cities in your thoughts right now, right?
Right, yeah. People ask me this all the time, Bill, what do you mean by southern Minnesota? Well, I mean the southern half of the state. So basically, if you draw a line from Ortonville, which is that notch on the western end of Minnesota, and then you stretch that east across, probably St. Cloud, then over to Pine City, that would be considered, there you go.
Got the old cutting board here, Tom.
Yep, there you go. So you got the notch, right? Yep, and now
right, here's what you're referring
straight
to.
east through St. Cloud, yeah, to about Pine City. Anywhere south of there, Bill,
Yeah, let's see here.
that would be southern Minnesota. Yes, including Minneapolis, St. Paul, Rochester, Albert Lee, southwestern Minnesota. So, yeah.
Tom, who else is going to provide these kind of visuals, huh?
No, that's a beautiful, and it's a cutting board, right?
It's cutting edge. It's cutting edge.
Right. Beautiful, beautiful.
All right, let's see. So you want to start into the maps then, Tom? Show us what.
Yeah. Boy, it's been a while, but it's going to be fun to get back into these maps, Bill. What you're looking at right now, this is the jet stream. Of course, we always talk about the jet stream, Bill, when we're talking about winter storms, just storms in general, and we look for these buckles in the jet stream, and you can kind of see one right here over northern Minnesota and the upper Great Lakes. That's what produced the blizzard over northwest Minnesota and North Dakota. We get into a bit of a lull over the next 48 to 72 hours, Bill, and then look what's happening out on the West Coast. This is a strong jet stream that's slamming onto the West Coast and into the inner mountain regions of Wyoming and Colorado. This is Saturday morning. And you can see a bit of a buckle developing in the jet stream. This is a trough over Montana and then moving into North Dakota on Saturday. This is Saturday evening now. And in between these two areas of strong winds, Bill, this one over the western portion of the United States and this one over Michigan and the eastern United States, in between, there's this trough, and right here is where there is strong lift in the atmosphere. Again, this is Saturday night. So this is where we would expect a storm system, a significant one, to develop somewhere South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, and southern Minnesota. And then, of course, that system just moves east during the day on Sunday, and then we're left with cold air. This is Monday, Bill, and this is, we haven't experienced a real significant Arctic outbreak in a long time. In fact, can't really remember it happening very much, if at all, last year. This Arctic air mass that's going to be coming down Monday and into Tuesday really means business, Bill. We're talking about temperatures -10, -15 air temperature, even here in the Twin Cities and southern Minnesota as we head into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week.
So Tom, I know we've got the Alberta Clippers and then the other ones, the ones that hook up from the Southwest. Is this something in between, or really more of a glorified Clipper that you're looking at?
Yeah, no, this is right in between, Bill, and this is actually one of the reasons why I'm so confident that what's going to fall this weekend is going to be snow, because we're not going to have to worry about a low coming up from the south and pulling up warm air into southern Minnesota. In fact, you can see that now with the 850 millibar temperatures, Bill. You can clearly see there's an Arctic air mass, modified Arctic air mass over us right now. This is for tomorrow morning. And that air mass sticks around through Saturday. This is Saturday afternoon now. But look at what's happening here in South Dakota and northern Nebraska. That's a storm system that's developing. It moves right out of Wyoming into South Dakota and Nebraska, and then it moves straight east into northern Iowa. And again, this light blue line, Bill, we've always talked about this, but this is the 32-degree Fahrenheit line at 850 millibars, so that's the lower layers of our atmosphere. That is where, in theory, the rain-snow line would be located. And this is Saturday night, the rain-snow line well south of Minnesota. Here's Minnesota. So because the storm system is moving almost straight west to east, it's not going to have the time to pull up real warm air into southern Minnesota. Hence, this is going to be all snow, and it could be a very efficient snowmaker Saturday night and into Sunday morning. And then look at what happens, Bill. This gray area, this is bitter cold Arctic air that is surging into Minnesota on Monday and Tuesday.
Is that a new color, Tom? I don't remember the grays.
We don't get that very often. Like I said, Bill, last year, I don't remember it happening much, if at all, last year. But we do occasionally, in the winter, we do occasionally get these types of air masses, or at least we should. And it's certainly not going to disappoint for the early and middle portions of next week. I won't be surprised, Bill, if some areas of northern Minnesota and eastern North Dakota get down to 30 below actual air temperature as we head into next week and next weekend. Or I'm sorry, next week, early and mid portions of next week.
So is this the moisture? Are you showing us moisture now?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bill, say that again.
Are you showing us the moisture available?
Yeah, so this is something that's fairly important. This is the 24-hour snowfall forecast from the European model. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because the GFS computer model has the bullseye of snow over southern Minnesota for this weekend. But reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to put out snow totals yet is not only because we're still 3 to 4 days out, but the European computer model, it has shifted the snow band a little bit further south into Iowa so that the axis of heaviest snow would be from around Sioux City, Iowa, east to just north of Des Moines, and then continuing east into Chicago. Am I buying into that model guidance yet, the European model guidance? No, but I think it does throw a bit of caution to those that are predicting big snows in the Twin Cities, because this storm system could easily shift 50 to 100 miles, maybe even a little bit more further south than expected, and then that would just put the Twin Cities on the edge of the snow. I know that snow lovers hate to hear that, but it's the truth, Bill. That's kind of what we deal with whenever we're talking about storm systems.
Tom, you got to always tell us the truth. Can you go back to that? I have a question.
Oh, sure. Hold on a second. I know people hate hearing that, but it's the truth. It's 3 to 4 days in advance, and we've got
what is the pink area reflecting there? That obviously.
Okay, well, yeah, you can see the graph on the right. These are your snow totals. These amounts here, this 10 and 12. So, in theory, if you believe the European computer model, up to a foot of snow may fall in the Chicago area by Sunday night. So all we would need to do is shift this band of snow about 100 to 150 miles further north, and that would put southern Minnesota right in the bullseye from the European model's standpoint. So again, we're talking just a little bit of a difference between the European and American computer model. The Canadian model, it's funny how we always talk about these models, Bill, but the Canadian model shows the axis of heavy snow right over the Minnesota-Iowa border. So you start averaging the three of them together, Bill, my gut feeling is that the significant snow is going to fall near the I-90 corridor in southern Minnesota. And in fact, I'm going to show you that right now. This is the travel impact graph map from Novak Weather. you can see I've got the Twin Cities on the northern end of the significant snow, and then areas just north of Des Moines would be on the southern end, and right in between, which would be the Minnesota-Iowa border, I-90 corridor. That's where I expect the axis of heaviest snow to fall on Saturday and Sunday.
Very good. Well, there's hope for snow lovers. There's
There is a lot of hope.
too,
Hey, great news. So, for instance, ski resorts, people that make snow, great news for them because they've been waiting for an Arctic blast to show up so that they can create snow in a real cold environment. It doesn't really help them creating snow when the temperatures are around 32 degrees, but when the temperatures are in the single digits and teens, that's when the snowmaking is awesome. So the ski resorts will be probably going full blast with their snowmaking over the next week. I'm sure many of them are going to open this weekend, and if not this weekend, they'll certainly be open next week. And hopefully we can get that snow on the ground for snowmobilers and cross-country skiers too.
And it looks like it might be here to stay for a while, right?
It's going to be here to stay for a long time, Bill. This winter I've really been, my gut feeling has been that this is going to be a colder, snowier winter. We are certainly on our way to a snowier winter in the upper Midwest. Maybe not yet here in the Twin Cities, but the upper Midwest, as we mentioned, 2-3 snowstorms already, and it's not even Christmas yet. So I think this trend of snowstorms is going to continue, and I do feel we're going to have more Arctic outbreaks this year than we've had in the last couple of years. So just be prepared.
Sounds good. Well, maybe we'll check back with you in a couple of days as things warrant. Sound good?
That sounds great, Bill.
All righty.
Good evening. Bye-bye.
All right. See you later.